YouTubers, welcome back to AZ2 Ozarks. Today I just want to share with you a little bit about the Cornish cross chicks we are raising as meat birds. Last year we raised 2 batches of 25 Cornish cross, and that was really just for our family, and it was nowhere near enough for a year's worth of chicken for our family of 5. And this year we wanted to increase production to cover all of our family's chicken needs, as well as have some available for sale. We do raise all of our Cornish cross on organic feed, and we find that that's really a high priority to us. There isn't much organic chicken available around here from other farms. There's a lot of non-GMO feeds, but not so much on the organic as far as being available. So that's important to us. I will also be sharing, we have a new batch of Cornish cross coming this morning, and I will be picking them up directly from the post office, show you what they look like. I will be showing you our last batch that we had received are now 4 weeks old, and they are out in chicken tractors. So I'll go ahead and show you all of that. I have just gotten home from the post office, and this is how our 100 chicks arrived from the post office, in this nice box with air holes. This one is to fit 100 birds, so it has 4 separate sections that each holds approximately 25 birds. It comes taped up real nice. And so the chicks in their first day don't need any food and water. They can live without it. And so as soon as they hatch is when they go ahead and ship them out. And so let's go ahead and open this up and show you our little chicks. All right. Well, those do not look like our correct chicks. I can tell you that right now. Look at this guy. This does not look like a Cornish cross, and these guys don't either. They are so dark and different colored. This is wild. This looks like an assortment of chicks. I'm probably going to have to get in touch with the hatchery and see what we are going to do about this. All right, I have called the hatchery where we got the chicks from, Cackle Hatchery, and sent them an email with a picture. They're going to call me back with what we are supposed to do, but in the meantime, they said go ahead and feed them and water them and get them under heat lamps. So this is our smallest brooder box. We have 3 of them, and the other 2, the second one is twice as big as this. The third one is 4 times as big as this, but I'm hoping to get rid of these birds pretty quickly since they're not correct. We are going to dip all their beaks in water and get them here out of their box and into the brooder box. This is our large chicken tractor, and it's based on the Joel Salatin type of style. It has wheels for transporting it, and this hose here with a string is for lifting the front end to transport it. So we have the 2 wheels on the sides. There's a metal sheeting around it and on top to keep the sun and the elements off. It has been unusually cold this spring, so we do have 3 heat lamps in there that are currently turned off because today is looking really nice. I think we're getting up to 65 today. Now these guys were just moved this morning to a new piece of grass, and you can see how dirty they are. It's only been 4 hours that they have been on this spot right here. So I will be moving them right now. First I'll take out the feeders, and then and the water, and then I will get them moved. Now you can see they have a nice fresh patch of grass. You really don't want them hanging out in their mess. I mean, aside from it just being gross, it's not healthy for them. So I like to keep them moved and keep their area clean. And obviously they prefer to eat their food over the grass, but that's okay too, as long as they have the opportunity to eat bugs and grass and flowers and their food to keep them healthy and happy. This is our smaller chicken tractor, the one that we used last year when we were only raising 25 birds at a time. And so we have just placed 25 birds out in this tractor. They will be moved once a day until they get too messy, and then they will be moved twice a day. But there's lots of nice chickweed for them to eat, some dandelions, clovers, of course, in addition to their chick starter grower feed. Here they are, just happily munching. Some sunshine finally today, though thunderstorms come back tonight. So there's their feed. It is organic chick starter grower. We get it from Peterson's Organic Feeds. That is the majority of their diet, but they will eat some of this grass and flowers down, which is nice. So you can see how big these chicks are at 4 weeks old. This chicken tractor is small enough that it doesn't have wheels. It can just simply slide, and by myself I can pull it and move it just using the handle on this string here. So by grabbing this, I just lift up the front end and I can just drag it across. Since I just put them in there, they're not quite ready for a move yet, but really it's a very basic chicken tractor that's essentially a small square, and it keeps these guys relatively safe. I don't expect the tractor to keep them safe from all predators, but we do have Sasha the guardian dog now. She's a Great Pyrenees, and she keeps all the animals away that we don't want around here, of course. Cackle Hatchery has called me back and they apologized profusely. They are so sorry for this mix-up, and I can only imagine. I mean, they are hatching thousands upon thousands of birds every day and shipping out all of these orders to all different places. Well, it turns out we got a batch of 107 cockerels from a variety of laying breeds. So these are not Cornish cross at all, which of course I suspected based on their coloring. And I can't ship them back to them because after the first day, you can't ship them back or anything. There's no local stores that will be able to sell them because they are cockerels. Most people want the laying hens, the females. And so they said that we can give them away or sell them or do whatever we want, or we can raise them. So what these guys are typically used for, they are raised 12 to 14 weeks, and then they are butchered. And at that time, you get a butchered weight between 2 and 2.5 pounds. We recently butchered 3 or 4 roosters that were quite a bit older than that, but they were still under a year old, and they were horribly tough. I ended up having to boil them in water overnight to make them soft enough to eat. So I don't know that we really want to keep these guys, and this wasn't really our plan. We are raising meat birds for a particular reason. So I don't know. I think we're going to ask some friends around and see if anybody else wants to work with them. It also changes our feed requirements for the year because I ordered enough feed to raise out 3 batches of 100 Cornish cross, and so if I add these guys in, it might put us short as far as the feed goes. Also, because they are booked out on their Cornish cross orders, they aren't likely going to be able to get us replacements until August. And it is currently April, which it kind of goofs up my schedule. I ordered these 3 batches of 100 birds in succession in a way that I would have them far enough apart where I would have some in brooders and some in the chicken tractors, and then the first batch would be butchered before the 3rd batch arrives. So now I will be receiving the 3rd batch, but I'm missing my 2nd batch. And then I will be getting a 4th batch, I guess you could call it. My true second batch of Cornish cross maybe in August. So that's all right, a little monkey wrench. I know that these kind of things happen. I'm totally not upset at the hatchery at all. We've received excellent quality birds from them, and I've been very happy with them thus far. This is just a case of a mix-up, and so now we're going to figure out what we're doing with all of these boys. It is the next day, and these little guys had a good night out here with their heat lamps. You may be able to hear it is pouring rain now. We actually keep our brooder boxes in an enclosed trailer to keep them out of the weather because the barn isn't quite tight enough to keep other critters out. We don't want anybody messing with the little cheepers. So they are crowded in here. This is a small area for 107 birds. But I said I wanted to find someone to take them pretty quickly, and I did. So a neighboring farmer recently actually had a big mishap. His deep freezer went out on him and caused him to lose all kinds of meat. And so I asked him if he'd be interested in raising these as meat to replenish his stock, and he said yes. So you know, something that started out as a mistake and an accident by sending the incorrect birds is turning into a blessing for someone else. So he's on his way to come pick them up now, and hopefully they fill his freezer right up in a couple of months. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to keep following our adventure.